Well, first of all, how did you guys feel when or what did you guys think when you first saw um, that Greg Hallett, well, your brother Greg, was claiming himself to be the king?
Well, it had been going on for quite some time. It wasn't
no surprise.
Yeah, I mean, he was chancellor before that, so there's always a step up, isn't there, with somebody who's delusional?
Yeah,
and it just more and more grandiose.
That's right.
He's been making up ridiculous stuff for 30 years, so it gives us a good laugh. We all think that he should have been a comedian.
Yeah,
because he's funny, he talks funny, but then he puts in all this stuff that, oh my God, he's serious.
So we did. I think our initial thoughts were like just a laugh because he's just ridiculous. But then it was more concern for the people that are giving him money that are like that, that woman that pulled out a piece of her brain because she thought that there was a stone up her nose that was a locator beacon. And she spent 2 hours pulling it out and showed everybody. She was a great fan of Greg's. So I felt sorry for those people who just wanted to stop them doing things like that.
Yeah, that was a real worry.
Is this true? I've not heard of this one.
Yeah, I think it's the same woman that smashed her 200-pound glasses on the screen.
Natalie.
Yeah.
Natalie did that. I didn't. That's the first.
I think it was her, but anyway, it was definitely her saying that. It was her, because she was saying that all babies and all of us from way back before they had computer chips, we had a computer chip put up our noses close to our brains so they could locate us. But then, how do people go missing? Why are there still people going missing if they've got a locator beacon up their nose?
That's right,
just yeah, just go and get him. He just beat that old lady. Oh yeah, okay.
that is so odd. That's the first I'm hearing of that. But yeah, I had heard some other things about her initial videos, and that she didn't seem quite all there.
No.
But so is that how you? I mean, how did you actually hear that he was making these claims? Did you see these videos, or
somebody contacted us?
Yeah, separately.
Was it Sharon?
No, different people contacted Mandy, and then about 2 days later, different people contacted me, both on Messenger, just saying things like, "Do you know Greg Hallet? Is he
your brother? When's he going to be king?
Do you know he's ripping people off? There's a police investigation." And then I was like, well, if he's asking people for money.
Yeah, that's right. So you guys heard that lots of people were giving him money, and that's the point where you thought, well, it's not just funny anymore.
It's affecting people's lives now.
Yeah, and
he has lived off donations for a lot of years.
Yeah, no. So I found out some information beforehand that people had donated to him big money as well to help him with his research for his books, some of the other claims he was making, and then obviously he was claiming that Francisco Manuel was the rightful king. He was that Queen Liz was illegitimate, and that a guy called
Victoria got married to blind prince. Somebody or other, I mean, no, blind king. He was even called him a king. So I didn't know we had two kings at the same time. I didn't know that was allowed.
Yeah, well, I don't think it is allowed, but I mean,
no, one with sight and one without.
The story goes that
they were early into, looking after the disabled, and they was going to run two parallel
universes.
Yeah, with a blind king and a girl king.
The thing is, if Greg can claim that there's two, if Greg can claim that there's two Jesuses, then what's wrong with two kings? Hey?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So so the story goes that obviously Victoria had this child, and he was a legitimate heir, and he was exiled to Portugal. But when he came back in secret, Queen Victoria knighted him king, but didn't tell anyone, of course. And then sort of, he kind of died years ago, and no one knew the truth. But then his direct descendant, Francisco Manuel, who was still alive, was saying, I think as far back as 2006, or maybe even earlier, that he was the rightful king. And that's when Greg sort of caught up with him and decided to push Francisco's claim. So Greg was saying that this Francisco guy was the rightful heir to the throne. And what I don't understand is how it went from that. I mean, I think I could understand. I think kind of Greg and Francisco maybe fell out, because he's just disappeared off the face of the earth, apparently. And Greg kind of then cut ties with him and started claiming himself to be the King of England.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think Francisco has, I think he might be related to the actual royal family that was deposed way back, because when Portugal became a republic in about 1975, 74, 75.
Yeah.
And so any pretense of royalty had gone, because when I spoke to some Portuguese friends, they all knew of Francisco. They call him Francisco. Francisco.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. Silent Sea, yeah.
Yeah, and they'd all heard of him. They said, yeah, the story's true. But I don't know whether they meant the story about him being Queen Victoria's or whether him being the rightful heir, and they probably mean Portugal. So what they're saying, I think, is that and I can check it with them, is that when the royalty was disbanded there because it became a republic, then they would have been, if royalty had stayed on, he would have been the heir.
Sure. But
Meg wanted to make it for the whole of England and everywhere.
If he was the rightful heir to the throne of Portugal, doesn't necessarily mean he'd be the rightful heir to the English throne.
No, but that's where Queen Victoria handily comes in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Greg's taking it.
So, I mean, but then where do you go from there to Greg? And that's what I'm interested in today. So whether or not Francisco has a rightful claim, I mean, that is interesting. But getting hold of you today, I want to talk about Greg. And like I say, so you found out about him pushing his claims, found that funny, but then you realised actually lots of people are being scammed out of their hard-earned money. And you decided to make, is that the point you decided to make a video?
Yeah. Well, the girl, I can't remember her name now.
She interviewed us.
Ray of Sunshine.
Yeah.
She asked us if she could do an interview.
Hello, Mum. Hello, Greg's mum. I really respect you for doing this, and we're very, very sorry. It's just we need to know what's going on, because he's got a lot of people that are following him. They are putting all their everything into this. We have to know what's going on. There's going to be some heartbroken people, because we're from England. He's our king. He's told us he's our king.
He's not the king. He's just a crazy man. He's actually crazy.
What about all the papers? I mean, are they illegal? Have they not gone to Donald Trump? Have they not?
About those. Don't know. But no, they'll just be anything can be fraudulent now. And you look at that photo that he's photoshopped the coat of arms off the front gates of the
saw that.
And then he's photoshopped his Greg Hallet logo in there, and it's like, that's such a bad Photoshop. That doesn't prove anything, but people see that and believe it. But it's not proving it, because it's just fake. And he's making it all up.
Here's proof that he is Maori. This is a letter to Mum from the Maori Trust.
Yeah. I mean, this must be very hard for you as a family. I mean, is this...
We're used to it, trust me, we're used to it. It's been going on for 20-something years.
Yeah.
It's only because now...
He's ripping people off. Before he wasn't doing any harm, now
he's been living off donations for about 20 years, but now that it's just kicked off just recently and there's all that money being given to him.
It's fraudulent. It would be better given to a good cause. For disadvantaged children and crippled children and starving children.
I mean...
Not for him. He has got a degree in architecture. He can go out and earn his own living.
He knows an awful lot. He knows a lot.
Yeah, he's very intelligent and he's really fun. Yes. And I loved him, and I can still remember having him. And
of course, he's your boy. I understand.
On the 15th of September. And, yeah. And I was there at the time.
I understand. You seem like lovely, lovely people, and I really don't mean any disrespect to you. It's just he's all of a sudden come into the world now, and the whole the whole world is going mad for King Greg, and we're like,
Yes.
right,
And that's
oh,
what he wants. He loves attention. Yes. I mean, he was, you know, and he is very good verbally. You know, it's one of his things. And that's why he's got charisma, and that's why people believe him. Charisma just means that you're believable.
I mean,
You know, people are drawn to you.
would you call him a con man?
A what?
A con man.
I don't think he believes he's conning people. He believes the stuff that he says, but there's no basis of truth. He just makes it up. He's never been able to substantiate anything. And if you question him and ask him to send you proof, then he'll either block you or he won't reply.
I mean,
or
he's
he'll
got a couple of he's got a lady in London who went to his house yesterday to interview him. Natalie, you may have seen that. She seems to think that he's the real thing. She's
she's broken her glasses, taken the glasses off and thrown them away. It's just... Yes, well, I could take mine off too. And broken them. She won't be able to see. She won't be able to see.
We did the interview, but it was about 21 minutes long, and she did it with the phone, and you will have seen it.
I have, yeah.
We had trouble uploading it because of its size, so we did another one while we were on a roll, while we had everything there, and then we ended up having to put it on Facebook because it wouldn't fit anywhere else.
And just apologise to family and friends and said, please ignore this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just did
Okay. So they all saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them did. A lot probably didn't bother to watch, but you know, a lot did. They sent messages of, you know, condolence and, oh God, that guy again.
What's his newest claim? To be the king of England and the whole world? Oh, wow.
King of the world.
Yeah, because a lot of our friends have known Greg since he was young. So they're still our friends, but they're not his friends. So that tells you something for a start.
Yeah, that does tell us a lot.
Greg doesn't have any old friends. He doesn't have old relationships because he uses people and moves on. So, and Rick would have told you the same.
It's a massive common theme, yeah. So obviously Rick is a friend, still a friend of your guys, and I'm in contact with Rick. And yeah, Rick has told me, you know, that that's exactly, you know, the same for him. You know, just cut ties, moved on. And then you've got Tom Carhill, who Greg moved in with in London for 4 months, and then was a friend of his for a couple of years. Again, someone else had moved. One group, Greg had moved out. Greg was wanting to move back, but Tom had already filled that room with someone else who was paying, because Greg wasn't paying, of course. And so then Greg cut ties with him. Moved on, never heard of him from him since. And then this Mark Windows guy who he'd moved in with, cut ties with him. And then the latest, you know, and I did try to talk to this Natalie Williams. So she'd set fundraisers for him. She'd done videos with him. She was in constant contact with him, was promoting him. And suddenly he went cold turkey on her. And she couldn't believe it. She just sort of said, that's not Greg. He's been murdered. That's a clone. You know, and all this stuff, because bless her, I mean, like a lot of people, you know, you pull wool over their eyes and you'll disappear, or you know, they don't want to believe it. They believe in, and that's what's happening with a lot of people, I think, at the moment. And that's why I want to make these videos. And you know, thank you guys for helping me and doing this. And a lot of other people are feeling the same, and they're making these videos. So it's good. It's good that people are trying to, you know, help others, even if these other people are giving threats to us, are, you know, spitting vile things at us as we try and do it. So it just goes to show that, you know, not everyone is sociopathic. You care about others.
Yeah, and Greg's definitely sociopathic, and the fact that, you know, that people won't comment with you or acknowledge you or have a conversation with you about it or let you say anything is, you know, I mean, that's the cult aspect of it. They don't want to know.
That's it. I mean,
dangerous.
Yeah, when you provide them with evidence that contradicts Greg's story, they try to say, no, look at his documents, this, that, and the other. You haven't done your research. And then when I say, well, I've read all of his documents, I've been on his site, I've watched all his videos, And then I've talked to his family, I've talked to his friends, I've done this, I've done that, I've looked at this, I've looked at that, look at this, have a look at this. And they then say, no, and then I get blocked from the site, or they will just say some really awful stuff at me. And some of these people, I mean, even David Mahoney, who is the person who was interviewing Greg and is one of his sort of big supporters, one of the three amigos, as I call them. You've got David Mahoney, you've got Charlie Warren, you've got Jack Kidd. And David Mahoney, when he's seen my comments and I called him out, and he's done this to other people. He goes on your profile. So he went on my profile and started, I can't remember what he said, but he attacked me personally for my picture or something like that. And what's that got to do with Greg and his claims? And answer me, tell me something. Tell everyone else that's watching why Greg is the king and why I'm wrong with the information that I presented. You don't get it. You get blocked. So yeah, like you said, the cult mentality aspect of it, it's really sad. But
and the sad part, the dangerous part of that is now they're starting to do formats where it has to be invitation only, so nobody can get it and oppose their ideas, and then people that are looking for a saviour go there and just see no negative comments about Greg and think he's wonderful.
That's
and
it.
They're going to give him their money. They're going to give him their locator beacon out of his nose. And
we're going to be going around with locator beacons everywhere.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, David Mahoney has just started another group, hasn't he? Warriors Facebook group, and posts. So you can't post your own stuff. You can only comment his own posts. So that is
and the other one he's made so that nobody can comment at all.
Oh really? I didn't know
that. Said it's this is just supposed to be an information chat room. It's not a chat room. It's an information room.
Yeah.
And so I'm turning off comments. Remember, I thought you put that up there.
Wow. Shocking. So obviously you made these videos, and so basically when I found out about Greg, I was very interested, and I decided to look into it, and I thought, well, what a very interesting story, and half believed him, and I thought, well, let's have a look through his documents and everything, which I did, and I thought, okay, well, these look quite genuine. Not that I know what a royal document looks like and whatnot, but I looked through them all, and they all seemed, there's lots of jargon in there. He likes to kind of talk a lot, and he likes to put a lot of titles in there and try and blindside you with what's intelligent scribbles.
He puts so many adjectives and things in there all together that you can't decipher one from the other to see what he's meaning, because half of them contradict each other anyway. There's just so many words that in the end they don't make sense, and people get bamboozled and just believe it and think, oh yeah, he obviously knows what he's talking about. He's using big words. Yeah,
he's using big words, and I can't be bothered to read it all, but
I actually can't read it.
But he must be king if he knows all these words, and Greg can certainly convince people, and he's done that to many people. But so he videos, and he had to respond to them. So I had, like I said, I half believed him, and the point where I sort of was like, no, red flag, this guy is scamming people, was I was seeing people donate lots of money and then him thanking it for it, and then he said, well, we are doing this fundraiser for 2,700 to process documents, and so everyone was like, quick, we need to get up to 2,700, and everyone was talking about oh, we're nearly there, and then they got there, and as soon as they got there, he put out a post saying, oh, I'm sorry guys. Well, he didn't say sorry, in fact, he just said, spent the 2,700 on the server. It cost the amount of money that the documents were meant to cost, so I'll keep the pay lines open and give me more money. And I just, the cheek of this man. And then I saw the video around the same time. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, I saw your videos at the same time, and once I saw them, I was like, these ladies are genuine. You had your mother there as well.
Heroin addict mother. Who's evil.
Yeah.
She looks pretty good for somebody's been on heroin for 70 years, eh?
Yeah. I mean, what was she, 85? Major drug smuggler.
Yeah, major drug smuggler, evil woman. And family, none of the family have anything to do with anybody. But, oh, look, here we are sitting next to each other.
Yeah. And So I started saying, guys, have you seen on Greg's post, have you seen, the sisters and the mother? They go, yeah, Greg's already responded. He said they're all druggies. What?
Yeah.
No. Have you watched it? Yeah. He said they're druggies. What? I don't understand. I don't understand how. Well, looking at the video, that I mean, you guys could have been on drugs, but I just didn't think. I mean, I work and I have worked and I have known many people with major drug addictions, and it didn't come across like that to me. And,
These are clean. There's no
look at their arms. So, and not only that,
no lines, no scars.
No, nothing. And you were very coherent, and you seemed intelligent, and you put your point across very clearly. And I just thought that can't be the only thing Greg has to say is they're druggies, which I don't think they are.
Except I work for Barack Obama, don't I?
Yeah, he said that Mandy was working for counterintelligence, and Barack Obama was her handler. And I think as an alcoholic heroin addict, she's really highly functioning. So I'm really quite proud of her.
Did you put that on your CV? I mean,
yeah, and look where I live.
But there was that as well. They said that you were deep state. You've been paid you've been paid by the sort of deep state.
The royal family. We were the connection for the royal family for their trafficking as well. That was a new one.
Yeah. So.
And why would they traffic heroin? Why wouldn't they traffic cocaine?
Yeah.
It's far more popular.
That's far more popular, and it seems more kind of upper market. Sort of. I don't know. It did seem strange. So, yeah.
And the thing I'd like to say, I'd like to put on record, and I've said it in words and on the pages and things, but our mother is probably one of the most loved persons in the world.
She's lovely.
Everybody who meets her, they come away and they say, "Oh God, I love your mum." And people come down here all the way down to where we are, which is the other side of it's like as far away as you can get from Auckland, and they come down to visit her for a weekend and things, and send her presents. Guests send her presents from overseas and stay in touch. And every friend she's ever had is still a friend, and they all love her.
And I mean, I could see, my view. I think I'm a pretty good judge of character, or initial judge of character, and I just thought, your mother seems lovely, and you ladies do. And you saying that, I mean, you guys, I know, have lots of friends, and like you say about your mother, lots of people really care about her, and and then Greg has
nobody.
Well, yes. He's lost his family. Well, he hasn't lost his family. He's decided to turn his back on his family, his friends, and all he's got around him now are superficial people. People that are making money from this kind of deception. And I bet when it's all over and it's found out, they're going to just leave him in a second, and he's going to have no one.
Yeah.
Sad to think about, but he's put himself in that position.
I fear that I'm going to feel sorry for him when that happens and go, "Oh, you poor thing." But I just want him to get mental help, just some psychiatric help.
But he doesn't think there's anything wrong with him, so,
Yeah.
And he is functioning, he's high functioning. He's completely delusional, but he's high functioning. And if he's not harming anybody, then it's fine. But when he starts scamming people and giving people false hope that their mortgages are going to be paid off, they'll probably get their credit card, spending out on their credit card. Because, it's all going to be paid off and there'll be no more taxes and things. I mean, how the hell are you going to keep the NHS going without any taxes? It struggles now.
It's hard to fathom how much damage he could have actually done so far to a lot of these people. Because a lot of them, especially if they've got themselves into a bad financial way from it, they're not going to want to advertise that. And I know of a lot of people that have donated and probably couldn't afford to and tried to get their money back, and they've been denied it. But it's not just about the money; it's about the mental health, as you said. And mental health is a big thing for me. I'm a mental health advocate. I've had people close to me been affected by it, and I've worked in mental health and before. it's important to me, you know. And the reason why I got so heavily involved was because people had shared with me that they'd been adversely mentally affected
Yeah, same.
by
Yeah,
Greg's sort of
we had
deception.
one girl who say that, you know, she tried to kill herself all over it, you know, and she spoke quite openly about it just because she was just getting so distraught and so confused, and then he wouldn't talk to her, and
yeah,
you know,
that's when it's going far too far.
Absolutely. And you know, I had one that she was just sort of, she was staying up till 5 a.m, trying to message people, trying to put out on these fan pages, you know, please don't give him money, you know, he really is not genuine. And they given her so much abuse, and she got so ill over it, and she had to come off Facebook. And even now, you know, I don't like to remind her about the Greg stuff, so I give her kind of like monthly, or you know, bi-monthly, just a message, and just say, look, you know, I might just touch on it, but then I'll ask her first how she is, of course. I'll just try and steer the conversation off of it, because I know that she's just done with it, you know, she's impacted her that much. But, you know, saying that, you know, after talking to you guys, I kind of realised that, you know, maybe Greg doesn't fully realise what he's doing, and maybe there is a big mental aspect here. And I kind of...
he's always been a sociopath. You know, it's always been about him. He doesn't care about other people, and he really doesn't. He can just walk away. You know, he can give everything to somebody, all his attention and everything. He gets the adulation, which is what he's always lived off, adulation, and then he just walk away, just like that.
Yeah, a lot of people do not want to hear that you know, they might have issues. A lot of people just don't see it in themselves, do they? And so no, I kind of felt the same. You know, I was angry at first that people are being scammed out of money, and then I thought, you know, it is a bad thing that he's doing, but it doesn't necessarily mean he's through and through a bad person. And you know, everyone I talked to that knows him from the past has said, look, you know, he is fun to be around. He's not all bad. You know, he's quite, you know, he's a funny guy. Should have been a comedian. Should have been a fiction writer. You know, also
alone probably if he'd have done one of those things.
Yeah,
in a nice way, I mean.
Yeah. His comedy though is always at somebody's expense.
Yeah, which again, it's not
their physicality or their mentality,
their sexuality,
their intelligence, just
the way they walk, anything. Yeah, he's very cruel in that respect.
Very.
And they go, "Oh, I had a chat to your brother." I go, "What?" And his sister. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know what, you know. And she's slow. You know, she was slow. She was. I was in the A stream, and she was in the just above the ones that walk.
The entry level.
The ones that walk like this. You know. She's an
I think we've established why they're having a dig. So if we can move on from there,
please.
The journey.
And he's been like that
all
for
his
a
life.
long time. Yeah.
He's always been like that.
Even if we haven't seen him for 6 or 7 years, and because I was living overseas and in the UK, and we'd get together as a family, and the first thing when he walked in the room, the first thing he'd do was say something to us that was completely and utterly insulting. He wouldn't say hello.
He would just insult first.
Yeah.
Always just insult first. And you think, why do I even say hello to him?
Why do we?
Yeah, right.
Years we thought, we'd invite him to things, if like when, different things, the family would get together, we'd all get together in Byron Bay at our brothers, and we'd invite him, say, look, we're going to all be in Australia, such time, come and join us. You're more than welcome, the kids will be here as well, which will be including his, and we'd just get nothing. And at the same time we'd be doing this, we'd be saying, why are we doing this? Because he's only going to be horrible to us if he does come, But we were sort of a mum as much as anything, so, so we just gave up in the end.
She's given up grieving for him really now.
Yeah.
I'm glad she has, because I would hate to feel that she was still being, greatly affected by all this.
She says, I don't know if you should put this in because it might hurt if his daughter ever sees it, that she doesn't miss him anymore.
Mm.
So, and that says a lot about a mother.
Absolutely. That must be hard for a mother to get to that point, you know.
That the person that she did love isn't the person that
He became.
yeah, that is
Yeah.
here now.
Different man.
Yeah.
Well, a bit different.
Yeah.